Good evening. I'm Leonard Nimoy, live backstage at the Variety Arts Center in Los Angeles. And I'm so glad you joined us because in a few moments, you'll see a very special program that I'm tremendously excited to be part of. We're going back to the style of old-time radio to bring you a dramatic performance of the classic H.G. Wells story, The First Men in the Moon. Simulcast live on the Sci-Fi Channel and the Internet. As you can see, our cast are now busy getting ready. Somewhere back here is a very special mystery guest who'll be joining us later on stage. We're just minutes away from curtain, but I first want to give you a behind-the-scenes preview of what's in store for you tonight.
Columbia Broadcasting System and its affiliated stations present Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air in The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
Since I was a kid, I've had a passion for radio drama. I've long dreamed of capturing those golden moments, this great art form, and bringing it to life again. And so, Alien Voices came into being. Our aim is to bring the science fiction classics to a new audience. And it's the Alien Voices team that's cooked up something very special for you tonight. Myself, writer Nat Segaloff, and John Delancey. Among his numerous acting credits, you may remember John as Q from Star Trek.
The thing that I like about this show is that it's going to appeal to a lot of different people.
It's a message for the entire world. Warning.
You're going to see the way radio was done 40, 50, 60 years ago.
Rounding out tonight's cast are some quirky characters you probably know by now. Actors Ethan Phillips, who plays Neelix on Star Trek Voyager.
Hi, Ma.
And Dwight Schultz, who you know as Barclay from Star Trek The Next Generation. And that's not all.
We're going to have, I think, a mystery guest that everybody's going to really love to see.
Putting the show together has required months of preparation, beginning with Nat Segaloff's wonderful adaptation.
We took H.G. Wells' The First Men in the Moon, a book, and turned it into a script, a radio play.
Next, we assembled a top-notch production team and dreamed up some great ideas we think will amaze you. Especially David Krebs and Robin Harlan. They're called Foley artists. Their job is to do whatever they have to do to make the sound effects we require. These people are out of their minds.
Yeah, that's it. I just need a nice sharp clack like that.
Guiding the performance, director Jack Fletcher.
One of the most enjoyable things working on the production, among many, has been working with the Foley artists. And they've come up with their own sort of ballet where you don't know what is going to happen next, where the sound is coming from, and I think it'll be a wonderful treat for the audience to be able to spy in on this world that is usually behind the scenes.
And also, it's pretty risky doing this live. You know, you don't see live stuff anymore. It's hard to find people who know how to do live stuff anymore. You know, everybody's always saying, well, we'll fix it in post. There is no post.
Enough talk. It's time for action. To the moon! To the moon! To the pale-faced moon. You're not going to look at me like that, are you?
I'm hoping to. I'm back, live now backstage. Our mystery guest is still hidden away, but the rest of the cast is all here. John, Ethan, Dwight, Foley crew, are we ready?
Ready.
Yeah?
Okay, places everyone, less than a minute to showtime.
Let's do it. Here we go.
Good luck.
Now, the Sci-Fi Channel and Alien Voices proudly present H.G. Wells' The First Men in the Moon.
There is today on the moon an American flag, placed there by the astronauts of Apollo 11. A plaque beside it has these words: "Here, men from the planet Earth first set foot on the moon, July 1969. We came in peace for all mankind." But readers of literature know that H.G. Wells traveled to that pale-faced orb long before Neil Armstrong arrived. Come now with Alien Voices as we take one small step for men and one giant leap for science fiction.
Is anyone there? Is anyone there?
I'm coming, I'm coming.
Open up!
Well, I said I was coming. You're making such a racket, I ought to call.
Are you Julius Windagy?
What?
I said, are you Windagy?
Yes, but who are you?
Then I must use your wireless immediately.
Who do you think you are, barging into my shop?
Do you or do you not have a wireless transmitter on the
Well,
premises?
yes, I do, but it's just an experimental thing.
Damn it, Windagy! It's a message for the entire world.
The entire world, indeed, Mr. Whatever your name is.
They're coming!
Who is coming?
They're coming from the moon!
What did you say?
The moon! I wouldn't have believed it myself.
Oh, good God, man. Why didn't you say that in the first place? Follow me in here to the transmitter as quickly as you can. Silas, we have a witness.
I think I'm getting the signal now.
A signal?
Yes, whatever your name is. Your timing, it's astonishing. Last night we had the most unusual message from a man who purports to be, from of all places, on the moon.
What? What, receiving a signal from the moon?
Yes, that's what I said.
But that can't be.
He says his name is Cava, James Cava.
But that's impossible. I left James Cava for dead.
It's the same message as last night. This Caver fellow insists that a friend of his abandoned him on the moon. A man named Bedford.
Bedford? I am Bedford, and I abandoned no one.
He says that coward Bedford, he abandoned me.
Slander! I tried to save
We're
him.
losing the signal. He's fading.
He can't be. He can't be. I must speak with him.
He's gone.
Get him back.
Well, I'll do what I can.
Get him back, I tell you.
Calm yourself,
Alive.
Mr.
He can't be alive.
Look, I think you'd better explain yourself. After all, you're talking about men on the moon. Here, have this drink, and start your story at the beginning.
That I will. Gladly. My adventures with James Cava began 2 months ago. Some of my business dealings in town had gone sour, and I borrowed a friend's country house to relax. As I sat on my porch late one afternoon...
Here's your paper, Mr. Bedford.
Oh, thank you, Simon. Beautiful sunset, eh?
Oh, that it is, sir. Uh-oh.
What's the matter, lad?
Here comes Mr. Caver. He's got his head in the clouds. I gotta run.
Oh, that sound again. Good evening, sir. I say good evening. Hello? Hello there. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, me.
Yes. Yes, you have walked by my house every evening at this time for the past 2 weeks, and I can't help but notice that you are so preoccupied you never even look at the sunset.
I what?
I say you never look at the sunset.
Do I? Yeah. I mean, I don't.
No, and you are always making that noise.
What noise?
That buzzing. Listen to yourself.
I do that?
Yes.
Oh, well, it's just a habit. There's nothing to it.
Yes, well, in any case, allow me to introduce myself. I am Jeremiah Bedford.
And I'm James Caver.
And what do you do, Mr. Caver, besides imitate bees?
I invent things.
Oh, well, would I know any of them?
Well, have you ever heard of the motor car?
Why, yes. Did you invent that?
No. But I happen to be on the verge of a discovery even more important. I had no idea I was making such an annoying sound. Now, you've made me quite self-conscious.
Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention. But what is this most important discovery that you're working on?
Oh, you wouldn't understand.
Perhaps I would.
No. No one does. You see, it has to do with the photochemical reaction of elements on the activity levels of particulates, or as you might call it, radiant energy.
You're quite right. I don't understand.
Well, let me simplify it then. I'm developing a way to neutralize gravity. And there you have it. Nice meeting you.
And he walked away, resuming that infernal buzzing. An anti-gravity machine. Well, if nothing else, it seemed quite fantastic and possibly quite profitable. The next day, I decided to pay a visit to Mr. Caver's workshop.
Oh, hello, Bedford. Oh, what a surprise seeing you here.
Well, I've come to see your anti-gravity machine, Caver, but you seem to be in the middle of something.
No, not at all. This is the perfect time.
Now,
Perfect.
excuse me, Mr. Cabo. We've reached 270 degrees.
Excellent, Edgar. Now mix in the helium and increase it to 450.
If I'm in the way...
Oh, no.
No, nonsense. But it's not a machine, Bedford, you see. It's a material. We're about to make a sheet of it. Now, here, you take these goggles.
I'm afraid I'm confused.
It's a substance that will block the effects of gravity.
What? But that's impossible.
No, not at all. You think of light and the way it passes through glass, you see. If you put a piece of metal in the way, the light is blocked. This substance will do the same thing to the force of gravity. You cover an object with it, and gravity has no effect. No effect. It becomes quite weightless. I've decided to call my discovery Caverite.
We're ready to pour, sir. We'll need your attention here, Mr. Cabo.
Yeah, right. Hoist the cauldron, and be careful. Now it's molten hot, so stand back. You put your goggles on, Bedford.
Ready with the winch.
It's in position.
Go ahead and pour. And mind the splatter.
It's filling the mold.
Yes.
Watch the level there.
Careful.
Almost.
Careful.
Almost. Oh.
There it is, Bedford. A sheet of pure Caverite.
Well, it's beautiful. It's like looking into a pool of twilight.
Yes, optical displacement is a byproduct of the process. And as it cools, it will start to exhibit its anti-gravitational properties.
What's happening?
Nothing to worry about. Close all the windows and shut the chimney, man.
They are closed, Mr. Cabo.
Of course, I think you're right, Edgar.
What's going on?
It appears as though the Caverite is starting to take effect.
I'm being lifted off my feet!
So you are. Henry, heads up. The piano is on the ceiling.
Your workshop is being torn apart!
Don't worry about the debris. The important thing is that it works. The Caverite works.
That was my introduction to Caverite. Caver explained that the substance had displaced gravity, resulting in a giant vortex directly above the lab. It was all quite extraordinary. The next morning, I raced back to Caver's workshop, or what was left of it.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Mr. Bedford.
Oh, Bedford, hello, Bedford. Yes, everything is in disarray.
See here, Caver. Do you have any idea what you've got here?
I've got a big mess, is what I've got.
Do you realize the money that could be made?
Money?
Yes, of course. You and me, Caver. We could be rich beyond the dreams of avarice. Think of the applications. Common tools, locomotives, ships, airships. Why, no home or factory could afford to be without Caverite.
Oh, yes, there'd be money for research, of course. Money for scientific research.
Oh, yes, that too. Can't you see it, Caver? We shall create an entire industry.
Yes, we might be able to build a vehicle, a ship of some kind.
Yes, ships, build factories, corner the market, establish manufacturing centers in every capital of every country around the globe.
No, not exactly a globe, Bedford. I'm thinking about a sphere. Yes. We might be able to build a sphere.
A what? A sphere?
Yes, it must be a sphere. A sphere is perfect for travel, you see. It won't collapse if it's properly built, of course. With an airlock.
What on earth are you talking about?
Earth? No. Not the Earth, Bedford. The Earth has been explored. The moon. To go to the moon.
To the moon?
Yes, just think of the potential for moon exploration, the study of physics and mineralogy.
Mineralogy?
Yes, and astronomy. Think of the new view of the stars.
That means prospecting.
And chemistry and geology.
Gold and silver. Are there diamonds on the moon?
Oh, I suppose so. The moon isn't made of green cheese, you know. It's the same minerals as the Earth, gold and silver and platinum. But the research would be so...
By Jove, you've hit on it. The entire moon filled with precious metals. Enough talk. It's time for action. To the moon! To the moon! To the pale-faced moon!
H.G. Wells' The First Men in the Moon will continue right after these messages. We now continue with tonight's live presentation of The First Men in the Moon.
It had taken George Triplehorn, an expert metalsmith, less than a month to follow Caver's rather unusual blueprints for our moon vessel.
1, 2, 3. All right, gentlemen, here it is. All 3 tons of it. Where do you want it?
Yes, good. Yes, right there in the lawn. It's fine. Yes.
Heave-ho! Come on.
Edgar, you and Henry give Mr. Triplehorn a hand, and for God's sake, be careful.
That's impressive, if I say so myself, and on time. I've been a metalsmith for 30 years, and I can't say I've ever built its likes before. A steel sphere 20 feet in diameter, polyhedral, with tempered glass windows.
Excellent, excellent.
But I must confess, Mr. Caver, I cannot see the utility of adding window shades to a vessel going over Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls? No. That's too dangerous. We're going to the moon.
You're going where?
Caver, for heaven's
Oh,
sakes.
don't worry, old man. It's not as though somebody can follow us, is it?
How do you propose to drive to the moon? By horse and carriage?
No. Don't be silly, no. We shall embark upon man's first lunar voyage in this.
My sphere?
Ah, yes.
My God.
My mistake.
No. Not getting cold feet, are we, Bedford?
What on earth could you possibly want on the moon?
Oh, geological specimens, minerals, that sort of thing.
Really?
Well, no, not to worry, Mr. Bedford. Your harebrained scheme is safe with me. The man on the moon can have it all to himself, as far as George Triplehorn is concerned. That moonlight, it ain't safe. Makes warts grow. That's why you best plant corn by moonlight. And on the full moon, well, that's the time of the werewolf, ain't it? You know, not to mention...
Yes. Well, thank you very much for your fine work, Triplehorn.
Yes, and your advice.
Glad if I can help now. Good day.
Bye, George. Edgar, Henry, why don't you fellas take the rest of the day off?
What about that thing?
Oh, it's all right. Bedford and I shall manage from here on.
Oh,
yes.
fine, sir.
Much obliged, Mr. Bedford.
Good. Now that they're away, come, give me a hand and hurry.
Why the rush?
Well, tonight's our best chance. It's the full moon.
We're taking off tonight?
Oh, of course. What did you expect? Wait for Christmas? By midnight, the full moon will be directly overhead. Come, Bedford. We have our work cut out for us.
During the next 10 hours, Caver and I worked feverishly. About an hour before midnight, we began to enamel the retractable shutters with molten caverite. The sphere had been designed so that we could gain access through a manhole that served as an airlock. As we stowed the last articles of clothing and food and waited for the caverite to cool, I began to have serious doubts.
We ready? Climb in.
Just a moment, Caver. I think I forgot something.
Oh, too late now, Bedford. Climb in and push back the ladder. Once the caverite cools, we shall be impervious to gravitation and we'll shoot skyward.
Yes, but I haven't brought my reading material.
Will you get in here, man?
My umbrella.
Oh, Bedford. Climb in here immediately. We must stick to our schedule. There. That's right. 1 foot after the other.
I have theater tickets.
Come on, lad. Come on now. Where's your sense of adventure?
Perhaps we should give this some more thought.
Help me close the manhole and be careful. It's heavy. Now, sit down and make yourself comfortable.
Confound it, I was a fool.
No, you weren't. You're a scientist now. See here. Opening these shutters will have us on our way, and this should be just enough. There. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Caver, let me out. Do you hear me?
Get a hold of yourself, Bedford. Look through the window.
Why, we're floating.
Yes, that's what I was trying to tell you.
Higher
We're on
than
our
the
way.
moon.
Yes, you can see the whole countryside now. At this rate, the entire continent will be visible any moment. We have left the gravitational pull of the Earth, and we're heading with all due speed for the moon.
H.G. Wells' The First Men in the Moon will continue right after these messages. Live from Los Angeles, we continue with The First Men in the Moon.
We traveled for 3 days in our cocoon of glass and metal, talking, eating, sleeping. By the 4th day, we had shared our personal histories for a second time and turned our attention to the fantastic sights of the cosmos. Caffer, have you noticed that star over there is moving?
Yeah. Oh, my, yes, it is. Oh, dear. That's not a star. That's a comet.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes, and it's also coming straight for us. We have to change course.
It's getting closer.
Brace yourself.
Here it comes.
Hang on tight.
We're hit.
No, we're hit. No, we're not hit. It's just the ice crystals from its tail.
Everything is shifting about.
That's because the comet's internal gravity is pulling us along with it.
But the light is blinding.
Of course, yes, of course. Close the shutters. Close all of them. Hurry. Close them.
I can't reach mine.
You must. We have to block the comet's pull. Close everything.
I am pinned under the oxygen.
Here, let me help you. There, now. No time to lose. If we don't hurry, the comet will drag us into the sun. There. Now, the others. One more. Oh, good. All right, good. Oh, yes.
Well, that's got it.
Oh.
Have we stopped moving? Are we free of the comet?
Yes. I believe so.
What do you mean you believe so? Don't you know? It's pitch dark in here.
Well, we'll get the light when we reopen the shutters.
And when will that be?
Eventually. Otherwise, we'll just hang here forever, midway between the Earth and the Moon.
But I'm claustrophobic. I mean, can't we just peek out?
When we open a shutter, we must be certain that it faces the Moon, lest we find ourselves pulled in the wrong direction.
And how do you plan to figure that out?
Calculations. Yes, that's it. Yes. I'll calculate our position, and based on where we've been and where we were going. Yeah.
We floated in total darkness for what seemed like hours as Caffer made calculation upon calculation as to which shutter to open first. As my anxiety mounted, so did his infernal buzzing. And I must confess that after an hour or so, I was so annoyed. I would have gladly plunged into the sun just to make him stop.
Bedford?
Yes?
It's no use. I'm completely turned around. And if we choose the wrong shutter, we could shoot across the universe like an arrow.
What are our chances?
We have 12 shutters, and therefore a 1 in 12 chance of getting back on course.
On the other hand, we have an 11 in 12 chance of being destroyed.
All science contains a particle of risk.
As long as it stops your buzzing, I'm for it.
If we open this one, and it faces the Earth, we're back where we began.
Well, that might not be so bad.
But if I pull this one, and it faces the sun, we could be burnt to a cinder.
Oh, please.
Or this one.
Yes? Caffer!
Then I shall pull this lever, and the devil take the hindmost. Are you ready?
Yes.
Set. Pull!
It's the moon!
Yes, of course it is.
Thanks to Providence and good old luck, we were back on course. The next challenge was landing, a complex maneuver which involved slowly closing the Cafferite shutters to ease our descent to the lunar surface.
Steady, just a few hundred meters.
Right you are.
Yes, slowly.
Steady.
All right, the last shutter now. Gently.
Almost there.
Brace yourself. Don't close it completely just yet. Almost.
Yes.
Almost.
Yes.
Now!
We've made it!
Now, quickly, open all the shutters. The attraction will anchor us. Quick, all of them at once. Yes, all of them. Yes. Look, Bedford. Oh, the surface of the moon. Just think of what we've accomplished. Put on your muffler, old boy. It looks like snow.
You're not just going out there, are you?
Why not? Hand me a piece of paper.
A piece of paper?
Yes. Now you hold it while I light this end. Quick. Now I'll unscrew the hatch.
What in the world?
You throw the paper outside. Quick. Mustn't let the air escape. There, now close the hatch again.
Really, Caffer, what is this all about?
Watch the paper. Yes.
It's still burning, you see. That means we can breathe. Oxygen, oxygen, you see? Come on, then. Put on your hat, and let's find out if the moon really is made of green cheese.
We had landed just before dawn in a gentle valley surrounded by low-lying hills. Because of the moon's reduced gravity, we were able to explore the snowy lunar surface with gymnastic ease. As the sun came up over the hill, we could hear a growing cacophony, millions of gentle pops. And when the sunlight reached our feet, the mystery was solved. All around us, seeds were bursting forth, fed by the warmth of the sun and the melting of the snows. No sooner did these hungry little plants sprout, but we started to grow at an alarming rate.
If this vegetation keeps growing, we'll soon lose sight of our sphere.
Capper, look at this. Diamonds. Diamonds as big as your thumb.
No time, Bedford. We must return to the sphere quickly now. Immediately.
Not on your life.
We can always come back later.
What was that?
Get down. Hide.
Whatever it is, it's getting louder.
Look, over there, 50 yards away.
Why, it's alive.
What do you make of it?
Easily 200 feet long, milky white skin.
Sort of a cow. A moon cow.
Well, whatever it is,
it's in agony. Look, it's surrounded by beings and they're slaughtering it. What are those creatures?
They look like ants.
Yes, 5-foot ants.
With spears. Quick, let's get out of here.
Too late. They've seen us. They're coming this way. Run, man, run!
Which direction? Where's the sphere?
I don't know. Just run. Here, Bedford, quickly into this cave.
Stay tuned as The First Men in the Moon continues with the appearance of tonight's special mystery guest. We continue live with Act 4 of The First Men in the Moon.
When Caver and I came to our senses, we discovered ourselves chained to the wall of a dimly lit grotto. How long we had been there was anyone's guess. Caver, are you all right?
Yes. But I can't move.
Neither can I. Where are we?
Beneath the surface of the moon, I should think. Yeah. Bedford. Bedford, we are not alone. Do you see them?
Oh, yes. Oh, they're horrible. Grotesque.
Oh, fantastic. Perhaps they'll come closer.
Are you mad?
Oh, we should befriend them. Yes. Think of the potential for understanding.
Think of the potential for... Nope. Stay away. Stay away from me.
Calm yourself.
What is that oozing from its mouth?
I think they intend to feed us.
Oh, this is sickening. No.
Did you know that certain insects on Earth regurgitate food when feeding their young?
That's disgusting.
Give it a chance, Bedford. It's rather tasty. Like chicken. Why, they're loosening my chains.
Yes, and mine too.
I think they want us. Yes, they want us to follow them.
Ow! Stop sticking me with that spear.
Calm yourself, Bedford. I sense that if we go with them, everything will be fine.
That, my friend, may be wishful thinking. The creatures escorted us through a network of tunnels that took us deeper and deeper underground. After an endless, claustrophobic descent, we made a turn, and suddenly in front of us was revealed a cavern of immense proportions. This was the subterranean world of the Selenites, the insect-like race that numbered in the countless millions.
Look at the extent of this civilization, Bedford. The architecture, the multitudes. How many centuries has it been here, hidden from our telescopes?
Hey, easy with that spear, mate.
But he's trying to be helpful. He's saying, watch your step.
What's that?
He said, watch your step.
No, he didn't.
Yes, I understand, yes. Now, listen, Bedford, not to the words.
Telepathy?
Yes, just relax and listen.
Leave it. Oh, correct. We speak to you. I'm getting it. I think I'm getting it.
I hope you enjoyed your meal, gentlemen. In our civilization, moon cow is a delicacy. Walk this way.
Capper, unless my eyes deceive me, the tops of all those buildings are made of gold. We have found our El Dorado.
Yes. Even our chains are made of gold.
No. Well, you're right. It's everywhere.
It is a common construction material. Watch your step again, Mr. Bedford.
I'm curious, Mr.
I am called Sea Poof.
Yes, well, Mr. C. Poof. Exactly how much of this construction material do you have?
Let me ask you. My friend reports that we have an unlimited supply. That is why we use it to build everything.
Gentlemen, if I may have your attention, we have arrived at the royal palace. You are about to have the great honor of an audience with our supreme ruler.
We are already honored in being here, Fiu, yes.
When you are presented to the Grand Lunar, you must bow from the thorax. Do not speak unless he speaks to you first. He's a little hard of hearing. So think loudly.
The Grand Lunar, 13th heir to the throne of the benevolent peace, progenitor to all he surveys, welcomes you and wishes to learn the state of your world and why you are here.
Silence in the palace. Prepare to meet the Grand Lunar.
Welcome to the moon.
Yes, this is a great honor for us, Your Majesty. We come from Earth, with good wishes from our civilization.
And to that point, how did you come?
Oh, well, just a little novelty of mine that seems to have worked. You see, I was experimenting with the photochemical reactions, and I managed to develop a means of controlling gravity, and it's quite wonderful. It will be of great benefit to humanity. I call it Cavorite.
Capper, be discreet.
It might come as a surprise to you, but we also have been experimenting with a substance. As Cavorite, we call it lunarite. We possess all the materials, but lack the key to producing it. A problem that you have obviously solved.
Oh, well, Your Majesty, it would be my pleasure. The secret is all in the cooling process.
Well then, Your Majesty, it would seem that each of us has something that the other needs. I understand that your world has an overabundance of a yellowish metal, so much so that you can afford to be profligate with it.
Profligate, a good word.
We are fortunate to possess an easily malleable substance called,
Gold. Oh, you're Grand Lunar.
Gold, yes, gold. Why?
Well, since you seem to have such a surfeit of this gold, perhaps I might be induced to summon men from the earth to remove it.
How generous of you.
Well said, Your Majesty. We are a generous people.
What do you offer us in return?
Well, perhaps a little amount of money.
Oh, money. What's money?
It's a means of exchange. You use it to buy things you need.
What sort of things would we need?
Clothing.
Oh, we need no more clothing. The black, plain black. Two
Food,
changes.
then.
Oh, we have an inexhaustible supply of moon cow.
Weapons, then. Look at your spears. Can't get much more primitive than that, eh? I mean, think of the guns that you could buy.
Guns.
Artillery, bombs, projectiles, battleships.
For what use?
To protect yourselves.
From whom? You speak with unwarranted arrogance, Mr. Bedford. Were you sent as an emissary of the Grand Earthly?
The Grand Earthly?
Yes, your supreme ruler?
We don't have a single ruler, Your Highness. No. We are made of many different nations, each with its own ruler.
Ooh, how peculiar. How peculiar.
Yeah.
How peculiar. How inefficient.
Yes, you're very astute, Your Majesty. It is a problem that divides
Well,
us.
I should think so. With no supreme ruler, how do you work toward a common goal?
A common goal on Earth?
Yes, unfortunately, Your Majesty, there are no common goals on Earth. No. Each nation pursues its own goal, and sometimes this brings nations into conflict with each other, and sometimes these conflicts turn destructive, and we call this war.
What is the purpose of war?
The acquisition of land, wealth, and power.
Unfortunately, this is always accompanied by destruction.
Oh, the destruction of what?
The destruction of land, wealth, and power.
This is war.
This is human nature.
Oh, I see. Well, gentlemen, here on our world, we do not even have a word for war. No, our civilization has avoided the need for war by eliminating those desires that cause it. On the moon, we have evolved beyond such concerns. Here, every Selenite has a purpose here. Some are intellectuals, some are workers, some raise food, and some rule. We work together for the common good. No one seeks more than he already has. We are happy, and that is what matters. And perhaps the Earth could benefit from our wisdom.
A world without ambition. What lunacy.
A world without war. What sanity.
Mr. Bedford, since our gold interests you, am I to believe that others shall follow you here?
Most assuredly, though not to wage war, only for the purpose of commerce. Just think of what you would gain.
And what do you have that we could possibly want, Mr. Bedford?
We have.
Yes, human nature. Nothing you have told me of the Earth sounds as if the moon would gain by your being here. On the other hand, since the Earth, by your report, is so distracted by war, perhaps you would gain by a visit from us.
Oh, I doubt that very much.
Oh, I wasn't asking your opinion, Mr. Bedford. We will do whatever it is necessary to protect ourselves from infection.
Your Majesty, I'm afraid we may have given you the wrong idea of mankind.
And how would you propose such a visit, your lunacy? We alone possess the secret of Cavorite.
Nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest.
You fool.
Bedford, you control
There
yourself.
will be thousands of ships that will come here, whether you like it or not. Commerce has a life of its own. Progress moves ahead, despite those who try to stop
It
it.
is pointless to continue. Fire! Take them away. Take them out of my sight. Do what you like with Bedford, but as for the inventor, he shall remain here as our guest.
When we return, the conclusion of tonight's drama. Now, the conclusion of The First Men in the Moon.
Yes, all right, I'm moving. See here, Bedford, what right did you have to insult that potentate?
I don't take kindly to threats.
And so what did you do? You threatened to invade the moon.
Well, you were going to give him the secret of Cavorite.
And why not? It would have been a show of friendship and no loss to us.
No loss?
Here we are, gentlemen. Inside with the both of you.
It's always business with you, isn't it, Bedford? Business, always profits. Where's your concern for humanity?
Oh, come down off your ivory tower. There's a real world out there for those of us who don't have our noses in test tubes.
By taking advantage of others?
Until I came along, the only thing you were going to do with your invention was create whirlwinds in the laboratory. I tried to make you rich.
And yourself, of course.
Oh, you ignorant academic.
You greedy reprobate. Take your hands off me.
Take that.
You think I'm easy afraid? Here.
Look! The chains! I'm free, Cavor, the chains! They broke!
Yes, the gold is soft.
Quick! Pull the bars!
Bend them!
They're free! Run back to the sphere! We found our way through the tunnels, and with astonishing luck, surfaced in the same cavern that we had fallen in. Within 100 yards of the sphere, we were ambushed. When I turned to try to help Cavor, he was already in the clutches of a dozen insect men. I ran for the sphere. Anything else would have been suicide. As I took off, the last I saw of Cavor, he was being dragged back into the tunnel, clawing and screaming. Dispirited, I returned to Earth and found my way here.
That's the most extraordinary story I ever heard. And if it wasn't for these radio broadcasts, I would discount you as a maniac.
Oh, that I were, Mr. Windagy.
Come in here. It's Mr. Cavor. I've got him.
What's he say?
I'm decoding it. This is James Cavor. I have a warning.
I make this broadcast at the risk of life and limb.
Listen.
I'm in hiding. Not much time left. If they find me sending this warning to Earth, they may, oh God, advance their plans.
Out with it. Did you tell them the secret of Cavorite, or did you not?
It was horrible. Horrible.
Yes or no? If it's yes, I have a whole planet to warn.
That's it. No more transmission. That's the end. That's the end.
On the contrary, gentlemen, it's only the beginning.
What do you think will happen to us, to the Earth?
That, my friend, is a question that only time will tell. And from what I know of the moon creatures and what they know of man, I fear that we shall not have long to wait.